Next, we'll be talking about the arts. And Heidi, you have an interview coming up with Jeff Burns, don't you?
That's right.
Yeah.
Filmmaker Jeff Burns. It's really exciting. He was talking about his new web series, Super Knocked Up. And
What
of
a
course,
name. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it's
Well, it piques your curiosity, that's for sure.
It certainly does.
Yeah,
and it
sure.
has a whole comic strip that was going to be going to it. So
Right.
you're going to have to watch.
And Jeff is a local filmmaker?
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
He's
Been very, very involved with the community here. And this is really a huge endeavor of his that he's been taking around the country with him. So I think it's going to have a pretty, the idea is wonderful. It's something he's very passionate about.
Yes.
And I think that everyone here is going to have to watch this.
Great.
Because when it comes out, it's going to be really exciting.
All right, more local talent. Let's go to Heidi's interview with Jeff Burns.
You're watching Impact on the Arts with Heidi Phiilipsen, and my guest today is Mr. Jeff Burns, area filmmaker of upstate New York. He's here to talk about, among other things, Super Knocked Up, your web series.
Yeah.
Welcome, Jeff.
Thank you, Heidi. Thank you for having me.
So let's get into this right away. How did you come up with this incredible idea? And tell us about the idea, first of all.
So Super Knocked Up is an action comedy web series and graphic novel about a female supervillain who gets knocked up by a superhero. And I actually came up with the idea through a screenwriting course I took online. It was a really intense 6-month course. And the first thing we did in the course was to come up with a concept that we were going to take and write a whole feature script through the whole course. And basically it was just going through these brainstorming techniques that the course came up with, kind of try to come up with some kind of unique concept. And it really just came through that. I was playing around with different superhero ideas because I'm a big superhero fan and all that.
You're really into comics and this stuff?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, sci-fi, fantasy, all that good stuff. And so I was just playing with different ideas, trying to think of something unique that hasn't been done with superheroes before. And just one day when I was doing the exercises, it hit me like, what would happen if a female supervillain got pregnant by a hero? Like, what, how would they deal with that?
Okay, so let's back up a little bit here. Why a female supervillain? Why not as just a regular superhero? What was it about that?
Sure. I mean, it's very typical. You see a lot, most protagonists are heroes. So, I mean, for this story, I really tried to do like what was not typical, what you don't usually see in movies and series. So. I think it's really cool to have a villain be your protagonist. You don't see a lot, and also I think it gives me a lot of leeway to, number one, definitely show Jessica, who's the villain, the main character, her arc, and show how the transition she goes through and the growth. And I've always been a big fan of kick-ass female characters.
Well, I love it a lot in terms of the idea that the conflict that you're already dealing with is that could a super villain, a female, be a good mother as well?
Right. So, and that's a big part of it. I mean, one thing I love about that character is the whole. I mean, I show her very tough and she's independent and she doesn't think she needs anybody's side and she's kicking butt, But then I also, with the baby, she's very loving and she's trying to be a good mom, the best mom she can, while at the same time, how do I be a mom? How do I actually commit crimes and still be a supervillain? Tell
us a little bit about this journey for you and this process of doing it. I mean, you went from the screenwriting class to now, I understand, going recently to the ComCon. What was the conference on? Tell us, help me out here, buddy.
Sure. Yeah, so I wrote it as a feature screenplay, and I was going to try to sell it, like, have a Hollywood studio or something and produce it. But then I realized there was actually so much of it I could just do on my own. Because, I mean, there is some really cool action and special effects in it, but at its heart, it's really about, there's two characters, Jessica and Michael, the villain and hero, and their relationship, and what are they going to do with this baby? How are they going to work this out? So, so for the last 9 months we've been shooting it in the area. We shot 5 episodes for season 1 with the whole local cast and crew.
Okay, so tell us about some of the cast and crew. Who do we have?
Sure. So Natalie Bain stars as Jessica, the main character, who I've worked with before. And she's amazing. One actually hurdle we have to go over is she actually was not the first person I cast in the role. I had another actress, and then we shot 2 full episodes, and then she moved out of state, like away, and she just couldn't get back to shoot anymore. So I had to go through the whole thing of recasting, and which seemed horrible at the time, but it actually worked out really well because I can't think of anybody except Natalie in that role now. And Mark Pizzula plays Michael, who's the hero, who's knocking people up.
How was that? How was that finding this character for this hero who, I mean, what does he bring to the plate as the hero, male?
Sure. I mean, so he's kind of like, like Superman, but like kind of a womanizing version of Superman. Right, so that's his thing. He basically every woman's in love with him in the super knocked up world.
So he has his own little villain traits as well.
Yeah, I mean, actually, he has just as many, I think, negative traits as Jessica does. Which I mean, I really like that. The show. I mean, I think any real character has good and bad qualities, and I mean, he goes on his own journey too about that that he actually needs he needs somebody to love him for who he is and not for his hero persona, for the celebrity part of him. So they both go through really cool journeys, I think, in this story.
So where are you in the journey with this? What's next? When will we start being able to see some of the series? Has it been out yet? What do we have to expect?
Sure. So we have all 5 episodes shot, and I'm editing them right now. And we're shooting for hopefully a late January, but definitely very, very early 2012 release for all 5 seasons online. And also the first issue of the comic book will come out. Probably about
so there's a comic book as well.
There is, yeah. That's a whole other element to it as well that I'm doing, and that'll hopefully come out about when season 1 is wrapping up, airing. That will come out.
Now, speaking of comic book, recently, and I sort of flubbed this up before, it was the Comic Con.
New York Comic Con.
Okay, tell me about this, and I understand that you might have a bit of a trailer to play on this, so people can kind of see what that was like. Tell us about that experience.
Yeah, about 3 weeks ago, I was at New York Comic Con. And I've actually been to about 7 of these comic book conventions over the past year, promoting Super Knocked Up and trying to spread the word.
7.
Yeah, I've been around because I figured what better place to try to promote a superhero series than comic book conventions where people love comic books, love superheroes, love the stuff I do. So New York Comic Con is actually the 2nd or 3rd largest in the entire country. I think they said 250,000 people were there.
Wow.
It's huge. I mean, it's anything you could imagine: TV, movies, anime, comic books. Stars are there, panels. I had a total blast. I mean, I did a lot of promoting, spreading the word about Super Knocked Up, and people usually get really excited when I tell them, and they're like, "Oh my God, that's really funny. I haven't seen that before." But also, I mean, I went to a lot of great panels about writing for comic books and where digital media is going in the next 5 years, and I also just had a lot of fun too. I mean, just seeing all the people in their amazing costumes they do, playing Quidditch there, and it was a total blast. I mean, I can't wait to go back.
So for our viewers out there, where can we find you and more information, and so that we're ready by the time you're ready to have your unveiling of Super Knocked Up?
Sure, you can go to superknockedup.com. That's the official website for the series. Right now you can actually see a lot of cool behind the scenes videos we have up there, pictures, cast bios, all that good stuff. Actually, some drawings and stuff from the comic book as well are up there. You can also, if people can go to facebook.com/superknockedup, if they can give us a like there, that would be great. We're trying to build as many likes as we can, the whole social media thing. And on Twitter, twitter.com/superknockedup or just @superknockedup. So all those places, you can pretty much find us everywhere online.
Well, Mr. Jeff Burns, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, Heidi.
Wish you all the best with Super Knocked Up, and we'll have to have you back to talk about it once it gets out there. That's it, Super Knocked Up, Mr. Jeff Burns, Impact on the Arts. I'm Heidi Phiilipsen. Thank you.